So you've just made a sound effect and you want to know how to get it into Unreal. That's our little sound effect we'll be doing today. Unreal is going to spatialize the audio for you. It's going to be mixed again in Unreal. And so if you give it a nice flat sound, it can then spatialize it, put it in the right speaker or the left speaker, depending on where it is in the game world and things like that. And I'm in Vegas Pro 23, but this will work in any audio editor. We're going to render this out as wave. And the reason why a wave, Unreal Engine uses a wave form natively. If you put something else in it, it will change it to a wave to use it. Because a wave is streamable. There's reasons why it does that. Now, for a wave, you don't necessarily want the nicest wave. You can, if it's really important to have a sound effect, you can make it the biggest, fattest wave file you could. We're going to go with, you can see I have it starred here, a 100 hertz, 16-bit mono. The reason why mono will flatten the mix, that's what Unreal Engine needs. Also, 4400 hertz is about CD quality. It's pretty good. You're not going to notice any kind of noticeable quality loss for most things, especially throwaway sounds. But it's not going to make a huge file, which when you're making a game, memory is important. So let's not spend memory on things that don't need it. And you can see that the size of this sound is only 58.2 kilobytes. It can get even smaller if we needed it to. This will be fine for my game. So here we are in a project in Unreal Engine. If you create a folder you want it to go into, all you have to do is drag your sound into that folder. Now, you'll be able to test the sound and use the sound right here in the Unreal Engine. That question mark is from my revision control, so don't worry about that. But what you can do is you can right click it and you can create a sound cue out of it right here where it says create cue. This is the same in 5.7 as 5.6 and on back. Now the difference is you can also use it as a meta sound. So if you're planning on using meta sounds, I would suggest to do it by creating a meta sound. But if you create a sound cue, I'll show you that really fast. What that does is essentially give you a reference to the sound that has some sort of, similar to meta sounds, some sort of logic you can run on inside of it. It's also easier on memory because it can kind of be preloaded and you can do more things with it. The compiler has more choices with it. So that's what I would suggest to do if you're going to use the sound without doing any meta sounds. However, meta sounds is my thing, right? So I definitely suggest that you should use meta sound. To use this as a meta sound, right click, and what you're going to want to do is go to audio and then hit meta sound source, and then you can rename this. And I use _ms. I don't know if there's like a standardizing for meta sounds. That's just what I like to do. So when you open up the meta sound you create, it's going to be empty. Just right click and hit wave, type wave, and then you're going to just want a wave player mono. This will be more than enough for what we're going to do here. And then you can play the sound by plugging in your input. You can on finish, connect to on finish to on finish. That will make the compiler happy, and it will know when to close out the sound out of memory. And then you can hit out mono to out mono, and then here we just select the pop sound that we created, and actually this one right here, more than one pop sound in this project. And you can see now we have the pop sound and a meta sound, which means we have all the abilities of a meta sound, including combining things, blah blah blah, looping. You know, it's a meta sound. You have, the world is your oyster, but it's really just a sound effect too. So you can run it and mix it as a meta sound now in the game. I guess I should go ahead and show you how to utilize the sound. If you put it in the world, it's just instantiated in the world. It's not a really good way to do things. That's how Unity devs do stuff. Don't do that. It's just gonna, you could essentially just tell it to start when the game starts, or have another actor reference it and start it. That's really just unless you've got some sort of constant ambient sound that you're walking by, It's not usually how you'll do a sound. Like, you usually make it part of an actor. So I'm just going to make an actor really fast just to show you. So in an actor, there's kind of two ways you can play a sound. You can play a sound, or you can spawn a sound. Now, if you play a sound 2D that plays just in a mix is good for UI sounds. Playing a sound at location, you need to feed it a location to make it mix the sound as if it's spatially oriented in the world, or you can spawn a sound. Now, what's different with spawning a sound, this will actually spawn it as like a component in the game. And when you spawn a sound, you can attach it, and that means the component is attached to this actor like any other component. Or you can spawn it at location, where it'll be kind of like its own actor, pretty much. Now, this is great for multiplayer. You can reference either, we could reference either the exact wave sound, you could reference the sound cue, or you can reference the meta sound that we just created as well. All of those things, you can see right there, that's what I've referenced, will work. And you can play them off any event. And you notice it's got some rules, attenuations outside of the scope of the video, concurrency, but this is how you can choose maybe how much it echoes. Can you hear the sound through walls? Concurrency is how many of these can play at one time, based off other sounds that are playing. So you can pick different concurrency rules for different sounds, or make them share the same rules. But you know, these are all self-explanatory from here. But the main difference for spawning a sound is you have a few more things you can do. Like, you can bind to audio finished, and you can do things with a delegate when the audio is finished, like destroying the sound or whatever. Auto destroy will automatically destroy the sound. Both of these are kind of fire and forget. Auto destroy will just get it out of memory when the sound is done too, but you can essentially do things when the sound is done. That's why I prefer spawning a sound either at location or as a component. But for multiplayer, this is really important too. If you don't know much about multiplayer, the gist of it is, if the server owns it, if the server spawns it, the server will spawn it for everybody. Multiplayer is way more complicated than that, but that is a good rule of thumb to think about. If a server spawns an actor or sound, the server then will spawn it for everybody. So if you have the server in charge of spawning that sound, the replication is automatically handled. Everybody will have the sound spawned for them. Everybody will hear the sound if it's spatially supposed to hear it. So there you go. That's the basics of adding a sound in the Unreal Engine, the very basics. I hope this helped. I do a whole tutorial series on meta sounds in particular, but also just lots of videos about game creation in general, including we're jumping on Unreal Engine sometimes in live streams and just building some demos from scratch. So like if this video helped you out, subscribe if you're looking for more videos like this one. This is Adam with Space Dodo, and I'll see you next time.